After his wife died, people said he was healing well, too well. But they didn't see what happened to him when the sun finally went down. Every night, he sat at that dining table, 2 plates, 2 cups, and he talked. Neighbors passing by his window heard them, an intense, frantic whispering, like a bitter, never-ending argument. He would laugh, pause, then whisper back, pleading, "I'm sorry. You're right. You're always right." Weeks later, his sister visited. The house smelled of rot, heavily masked by cheap lavender perfume. She found him sitting there in the dark, murmuring quietly to the empty space. She asked, "Who are you talking to, David?" He laughed, a dry, rattling sound. "My wife." She froze. He pointed to the empty chair. "She says you didn't knock. She hates when people don't knock." The sister tried to smile. She thought it was just grief. Until dinner. The room suddenly turned ice cold. David stared blankly at the empty chair. He leaned in, head tilted, listening intensely. Then, he slowly turned his head to his sister, his pupils dilated with terror. He said, "She wants to know if you're staying for dinner. Forever." The sister stood up immediately, her heart hammering. "David, I have to go." David didn't look at her. He just nodded to the empty chair. She says, "You can't." The heavy front door suddenly slams shut on its own and locks with a loud, metallic clack. The sister bolted for the door, panic screaming. As she scrambled to unlock it, she looked back at the table. 2 plates. One had fresh, steaming meat. The other had only cold, grey ashes. And in the middle of those ashes was a deep indentation. Like a pale, skeletal hand had just rested there. Suddenly, a decaying, ash-grey hand violently punches UP from the plate, scattering the ashes everywhere. The sister screamed, finally tears the door open, and plunged out into the darkness, never looking back. Years later, the house was sold. The new owners found a scrap of paper taped under the dining table. Written repeatedly in a shaky hand, "Stop answering her. Stop answering her. Stop answering her." But at the very bottom, in a completely different handwriting, written in dried, dark blood, "He doesn't listen anymore, and I always win." Whose hand wrote that last sentence? Comment your theories below, and I'll see you beyond the shadows.